Hello, my name is Ralph DeSantis. I was the communications director for Exelon Corporation at 3 Mile Island. When the 3 Mile Island accident happened, it was March 28th, 1979, and I was 24 years old when that happened, and I was actually at the power plant the morning of the accident. I was in the security command center, and I received a phone call from the head of 3 Mile Island Unit 2 saying that we have an emergency at 3 Mile Island and it's serious. And then I heard the alarms go off, and that was really, kind of a scary moment for, just a 24-year-old kid. And I was supposed to get off that morning at 7 in the morning. Because the accident happened at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get off till about 1. They didn't have a shift change. But what was really interesting for me is when I got home, and it was all through the news by then, and about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a special national, Walter Cronkite came on the air to announce that there was a major accident at a place called 3 Mile Island.
Yeah.
And when I saw that come across the national airways, then it really hit me that I just was through something really, really significant.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really hit home. I went in the next night, and we were told that no one was able to take any more time off. You had to work 7 days a week to deal with this, big event. And we all understood that, and the workforce was very dedicated. A lot of people think that workers didn't come back. Workers came back. There was maybe 1 or 2 people out of hundreds and hundreds that did not come back to work. I remember the people, the camaraderie that we had, because all of us worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I didn't have a day off for over 3 months. So, people became your family, really. And I remember being there. The accident happened on a Wednesday morning, and on Sunday, President Carter came to the island. And I remember seeing the president come. I remember Mayor Bob Reed, who is still alive but lives in town, being such a leader for the community. And I remember Bob, Mayor Reed, saying that he would not tolerate anyone looting. And he essentially said looters will be shot on sight. There was no looting in Middletown because of that. He was a strong leader. And I just remember all the reporters at 3 Mile Island. There was over 400 reporters from around the world that gathered at the visitor center over there. Unlike Fukushima or Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island is nowhere near on the scale of those 2 nuclear accidents. But the way it was portrayed, I know that years later I'd have people come from Europe or Asia, and they said, wow, we're surprised people live right around here. But I'm convinced from everything I've read, and I've read a lot, that there hasn't been any increased health effects like cancer or disease. Now, one thing that researchers did find was an increase in psychological stress and mental stress. And people were definitely stressed out. I retired right before it was closed down, but I advocated, I worked to get legislation passed that would have kept it open. There is a Pennsylvania State historical marker down at 3 Mile, and I was involved in the committee that drafted the language for that sign with the State Museum and Historical Society. They said it was probably the most controversial marker they ever put up. There were anti-nuclear people on the committee. I was on the committee. Then there were more like neutral people on the committee. And we all, at the end of the day, we came up with approved language, and I think it's accurate. And it is certainly, when you mention Harrisburg or even Middletown, when you're somewhere, I've traveled all over the world, when you mention, one of the first things people think about is 3 Mile Island, particularly people of my generation. Younger people, not so much, but there was a time back in the 80s, if you said TMI, everyone knew it was 3 Mile Island. And then, later on, if you said TMI, young people say, too much information. So, and that's kind of a good thing. It's faded away a little bit in people's memory, and that happens to historical events. But we need to keep it fresh, I think, for people because there's a lot to learn from it.